What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today up on the chopping block, we have Hardspace Shipbreaker, which I think just got its largest content release ever. It's been a long time since I've played this game. I've been playing in my free time, but I mean, I haven't really checked on it because I was waiting for the 1.0 to come out. But I think I'll break my rule just this one time, so that I can show it off to the internet and you guys can see if it's something you wanted to add to your wish list or otherwise pass on. If you've never played Hardspace Shipbreaker before, this is a dystopian corporate game where you're basically a slave. That's more or less the best way that I know how to describe it, is that, like, you've sold your soul to the company in order to get this job and the promise that someday you'll be, like, a bazillionaire. The tutorial and the opening cinematic for this game make no mistake about the fact that this job is effectively a death sentence. Like, the survival rate among shipbreakers and cutters is very, very low. But if you enjoy games like Viscera Cleanup Detail, I think this is one of those games that you'll like a lot. I personally am a huge fan of Viscera Cleanup Detail. I play it all the time. Like, I really enjoy that game. I boot it up every now and again, and I'll spend like a day or two just cleaning up a level, and then I put it on the shelf for like 6 months. It's one of those relaxing games that really helps me pass the time, and Shipbreaker is exactly the same way. It's a game about detail, it's a game about like minutia, and it's also a game about not blowing yourself up explosively. So if after watching this you wanted to get the game for yourself, I'll have a link for you down below in the description so you can do that. On top of that, you'll find a link to my Discord, you'll find a link to my Twitch stream, and you'll find a link to my social media. Let's dive on in and play. Rather than doing the intro and going through the tutorial and everything else, I'm going to bring you guys into kind of like my mid-game playthrough, I guess, so you can see some of the new ships. With this update, they did add a few new hulls to the game that you're going to be playing around with. I'll try to do one of the new hulls today, just so you can get a look at it. Just be aware that my character, at this point in the game, is not able to handle the new hulls. I can take them, but like I don't have like the skill, and I don't have kind of like the upgrades required to fully process one of them without things going really, really wrong. So anyways, let's go ahead and start off, and we'll check it on out. Becoming a corporate wage slave with a loading screen. Alright, so the entire game takes place from inside your habitation module. You have, like, no human contact. If you die, they just kind of reclone you with no recollection of your death, and you just go back to work, basically. A couple things. There are going to be audio logs and things that you can find throughout the ships that'll kind of let you know how bad of a situation you're in. There's messages from other miners and from your foreman and from the corporation that sort of like unfold the universe of the game. For those of you that may not be aware, this game does take place in the world of Homeworld. I've never played any of the Homeworld games, but people have told me that this game takes place in the Homeworld universe. With our equipment, there's lots of equipment that we have. We can upgrade it. There's little slots here that are locked by what rank you are. You get links tokens for processing certain percentages of the ship without messing up, and you spend those tokens on upgrades for like your cutters and for your tethers and for your jetpack and for your oxygen and all that kind of stuff to make life a little bit easier. The game functions in shifts, and the first thing we need to do before we start a shift is we got to pick out a ship. So let's take a look at the catalog. I'm on grade 6 ships right now. The harder ones are much higher grade, but these guys right here, I think this is one of the new ship models right here, although I wanted to show you guys the new fuel tankers. Yeah, these Javelin classes right here, these are the brand new ones, and these ones can definitely get a little bit hectic, largely because it's like a cylinder nested inside another cylinder, which can make the whole thing very, very complicated to get apart. So we have two options here with the new ship models. We can go with this guy right here, which I definitely know how to break down. I can break this guy down lickety-splickety, or we can go with one of these guys right here, and for the interest of the gameplay, I'll probably go with the new ship that I haven't fiddled with much. We'll go with, yeah, let's go with the Guan. It's worth 6 million credits, and we are hugely in debt by, like, orders of magnitude. My character is 1.3 billion credits in debt, and so that'll take a chunk out of it. It'll take a little chunk out of it. This is my ship, so we fly around. Loading screen, you're getting, oh no, loading screen, you're getting me behind on my dialogue. All right, so here we are. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see our UI. We've got our health, we've got our suit health, we've got the fuel remaining in our jetpack, and we've got the O2 that we have remaining. Our tools that we have is we have a cutter, we have a line cutter, and then we also have a grapple that we can play around with for right now. I don't know exactly what I think I'm going to take this outer rigging off first. I'm gonna try and be methodical about this. So we'll get that guy right there. Anything that has yellow on it is a cut point. So we're going to see if we can... Man, that don't want to cut. I need an upgraded cutter if we're gonna make this work. All right, we'll do it the messy way. We'll do it like that right there. So we've done it the messy way, and it looks like unless there's an attachment right there, it's free. When you look at anything in this game, it'll tell you where it goes. So everything either goes to the barge for reselling, it goes to the processor for reclamation for valuable materials, or it goes to the furnace for things that are things that have no value effectively. They still pay you to do it, but this guy right here, how am I going to get you to the barge? Also, how heavy are you? Oh, you're not that heavy. I could pull you out here. Come out to here. Come on. Yep, you just come out to here. There we go. And then we just send you straight to the barge. Off and away it goes. Farewell, little ion ring. You will be resold to the highest bidder. Farewell. There's no crushing alert. We're fine. My character's freaking out because he thinks he's going to get crushed by the ion ring. In reality, he's going to be fine because I would never lead him astray like that. Let's see if we can cut this guy nice and clean here. There's a good clean cut right there. And actually, this one, I think we can just drag downwards. So we'll go ahead and step back, and we'll pull that one on down. Farewell, amigo. Have fun being resold. Goodbye. I'm a working man with a working plan. Gonna laser stuff with my laser hand. Well, apparently my cutter is damaged. That kind of sucks. I probably should have repaired it before I came out here, but we'll make it work. You go into the barge too. You seem a lot lighter than the other pieces. You seem a little bit lighter. I mean, you're only 1,000 kilograms. Like, that's not heavy, dude. That's not heavy, 1,000 kilos. I can just flick you on down there with my F key. All right, so let's see if we can take this guy apart right here. At the top of the screen, you'll see our progress, like how far along we are with this ship. When you get to each of those little 1, 2, 3 marks right there, it'll give you a reward. It gives you a tasty treaty for being a good boy. This guy's not going to move, so we need him to just go downwards with a tether. So there we go. We'll go ahead and drag and drop him down that way. With this ion ring right here, we got to get this fastener off, and we got to get those fasteners off. These ones are a little bit more sketchily placed, so we're going to need to be careful about the way that we do this. Just kind of make sure we don't cut anything that we don't want to cut, because if you cut something that you're not supposed to, it basically makes the object completely and totally invaluable. I think we got that right there. I need to upgrade my cutter before I can really accomplish the task the game wants me to accomplish here. This might impact, but I think it should like drag around the hull of the ship and be okay. And then you need to come back over here with your boy. I need you to come this way. Come on. Perfect. We can stabilize ourselves with our inertial dampeners by pressing the control key, and then just WASD is how you control the game with the Q and the E key for rotation. And honestly, you should get comfortable in this game with just the concept of not being oriented. The faster you get used to playing this game without requiring orientation, the better you will get at it. These guys right here are fastened, and I don't know how to get this rigging off right here. It doesn't even matter because we have this panel right here that's got to come loose too before we'll be able to slide this free. And so I think we need to work from the interior of the ship first. Where's the airlock? I also don't know if we have to deal with pressurization. I guess we'll find out when we get in here. We'll take a look. I could probably get this central chunk of modules off with this pod clamp. Can I just pull that free? I can't. Okay. All right, so all these pod clamps need to kind of go where they go. But we need to get that interior rigging off first. And really, you just need to think about every ship in this game as being like a big puzzle. You kind of want to take a look at it and like figure the direction you want to attack it from. Because for some of them, there's a very, very real kind of designated direction that you need to work from. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get things in, or you're going to come across complications. Let's work with these. These are antennas right here. I think these are radio antennas. Yeah. Let's work with the radio antennas first. I think that's a reasonable place to start. We can drag this guy down like this, and then we can just kind of fire him over here with the F key because it's a little bit lighter. This big chunk right here, we're going to need a tether for this, so we'll take that down to there. The tether has more pull force than my gun does itself. We'll go to the other side and get the other one too. I think we're making good progress so far. It looks like actually the fuselage is open to space, and so I don't think we have to worry about pressurization issues with this one. Some of the ships are under pressure, so like the interior of the ship is pressurized for human occupation, and if you just like haphazardly open doors and cut holes, you can create a pressure differential that creates explosive decompression, and it is absolutely 100% fatal. so be careful about it. It also, more importantly, the company would say, more importantly, it destroys valuable salvage. That's what the company cares about. We're going to buy some oxygen, some fuel, and some tethers, and then we're going to get back to it. That's right, the company is selling me the stuff that I need to do my job. I'm pretty sure this is all just one giant space MLM scheme. That's like what I'm thinking here. All right, so pulling on into port here, I need you to come down this way. Just nice and easy click and drag, and then we'll just fire that down into the barge. With you, I need a tether, so down you go. And then on the back end, since this isn't pressurized, I need to release the thruster first, I think. Let's get on in here and see what we can do from the interior. I get the feeling we're only going to be able to do this internal rigging right here manually. Like, I think we're going to have to do it last from the layout of the ship. Ooh, we don't actually have any accessible cut points from here. Okay. 73,000 kilograms of glass. Really? It seems kind of heavy for how small that is. Oh, 38. All right, I'm just going to melt this. Corporate's going to get upset with me. Apparently there's a pressure difference between the two cabins. But, like, fact of the matter is I need to get in here. I mean, I'm going to have to cut and destroy something to get in here. And so I'm just going to go with the glass because it's an easy cut. This guy right here, this is going to be for... We'll see what panel this pops loose. I don't exactly know what panel this is going to pop loose. I've kind of lost my bearings, but we'll see. We've had 2 more cut points over on this side. Hopefully this will be a useful access point. The depressurization didn't destroy a whole lot right there, so I feel like we're in good shape. Out that goes. And is this just a normal paneling? Is that like all that this is? Yeah, it looks like a normal panel. So that don't come off right there. One's for the furnace and one is for... Alright, so with the furnace stuff, I really sincerely hope you're not flying towards the incinerator. I'm going to just saw that off right there. And we'll throw that into the furnace since that's where it goes. We got about half the weight off of that, so we shouldn't get penalized quite as hard for throwing that in there. Good enough. I mean, sometimes they don't have like pieces that are separable in a way that you would prefer. So we've got a class 2 thruster over here. That's pretty valuable. It doesn't look like there's any cut lines. That's the reactor right there. We need to be really careful with that because it's nuclear and it begins to melt down like the second that we pull it. So unless you enjoy being a highly irradiated spackle of jelly on a wall somewhere, I would have a plan for how you're going to dispose of that. It's not going to work out for you if you don't have a plan. We're going to go ahead and deal with that later once we've got some better access points to float it through. Once it goes to the barge, it's rendered inert, and so that's really the goal, is that before a nuclear explosion goes off, you got to get it to the barge. That guy's out right there. I'm going to cut from the other side. I don't want to accidentally cut the fuselage. We'll go in from like right there. Looks good to me. You come this way, and you go into there, and then you are still molten, but you go into there. Okay. Well, let's deal with the thruster real fast. I think we can deal with the thruster okay. So we got to get the thruster cap off. And we've already depressurized this, so the thruster, this is a danger zone. Never cut, if the fuselage is pressurized, never ever cut the thruster while sitting right here, because when you depressurize it, this thruster cap is going to come flying outwards like a freaking bullet. It's going to hit you in the face, and you're going to have a terrible time. You're going to, like, die instantly and explosively. It's going to be awful. I don't... Thruster got damaged. How'd it get damaged? Don't look damaged. Looks okay to me. How come the cap is still stuck on? Was there a thruster release, dude? Oh, there might have been a thruster release. I might have made a mistake here. I may have made a tiny boo-boo. Alright, well, let's send you... Oh, I'm upside down right now. Okay, we'll send that over to the barge because the thruster is really valuable. The cap spun right off, so that's fine. Let me reorient real quick. There we go.
Salvage secured.
And as you can see from the meter at the top of the screen, the thruster's a really valuable component. Messing up the thruster or the reactor is basically a guarantee that you're going to get a bad grade on taking care of the ship. Like, you kind of got to have that stuff done. I have no clue how I'm going to get this reactor out of here. Like, none whatsoever. There don't appear to be a lot of good, clear access points. Let me get some of the chunks of the outer hull off, and we'll start playing with it from there. I just kind of want to see after I cut these lines. I've never done this ship before, so you guys got to hang with me. I tried to start this ship, but my cutter wasn't strong enough to do some of the parts, and so I kind of like shelved it until later. But, you know, I figured for this episode, since we're looking at new stuff, you guys can take a look at it. I need to be back over here to get my oxygen filled back up. Let's pick up some speed and pop the brakes a little bit. There we go. Kind of pull ourselves back around this way. I've got tethers left, so I'm not going to buy more. We'll get the oxygen filled back up, and then we got to get back to work like as soon as possible. Time is money in this game, and our shift only has 3 minutes left in it, and I don't feel like we've really accomplished anything worthwhile during today's venture into this ship. Come back around over to here and use that to kind of give myself some forward velocity. We don't have to go back to the hab or anything before time runs out, so don't worry about that. It'll automatically pull us back in when our shift's over, so we can keep working down to the wire. But all right, so we got all that off. We got all that off. Everything looks to me like it's mounted to this ribbing, though, which kind of like worries me, man. I don't like that. Like, this ribbing is a concern. We can probably get the airlock off. The airlock has a lot of value, and so that's going to be one of the primo objects we want to make sure that we get out of here, too. There we go. But until we get this paneling off, doesn't really matter. We got to have the paneling off in order to get the airlock free, so... Oh, airlock actually just came free. Okay, there's going to be 2 cut points, one right here and one on the bottom for most airlocks. There we go. And now that we've got this guy, actually, this might be what leads us to victory here. That panel can go inside the processor. And then you, before you get damaged, you need to come with me. And you need to go to the barge. Off you go. Now, if we can figure out how to get these other panels off. Okay, so those panels are definitely not free. They are affixed by some magical voodoo magic that we've yet to derive. It looks like there's 2 more cut points over here. So maybe that's what gets us free. And there's probably some down underneath, too. Yeah, I was going to say, there's something around here that I can fiddle with. Looks like there's another cut point in the back, too. I saw an arrow. Oh, no, never mind. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to check if this paneling is free-floating. This panel is not free-floating. Okay, good to know. We may actually need to get inside of it. We'll see. I'm going to get this cut point right here and this cut point right here. That'll at least give us another solid chunk of salvage that we can turn in before the end of the day. So we got this guy right here. This guy's going to need to have an angle on him. But he's not that heavy, so that's good. We can take this over to here. And I'm just going to kind of launch it in that direction. It should naturally get the suck and go inside the processor. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now that we've got a little bit more of a clearer visual as to what we can do inside of here, I can definitely get the reactor out now. But with 10 seconds left, that's a bad idea. It's because anything you haven't deposited when your shift ends, it just kind of magically disappears. And since it's such a valuable piece, I'm not going to risk it with 10 seconds left. So I'll see you on my next shift. So this one right here, as you can see, we managed to put 1.3 million towards my debt right there. So that's good. I don't know why I'm negative on advancement points. I think it might be a bug. It happened last night while I was salvaging ships. I leveled up, and then it put me negative for some reason. I don't know if that's like a gameplay mechanic, like I messed something up. I don't think I messed anything up. I'm actually pretty good at this game. I don't think I messed anything up, but like it's been negative for like my last 2 ships, so I figure it'll fix once it rolls over. We have not gotten most of the good stuff done here, but we did make 1.4 mil for the company, so that's good. All right, so back inside of here. I got to run some repairs on my equipment real fast. Our debt, we took about... We took 800,000 off our debt right there. It's not the best, but, you know, baby steps, I suppose. Go to our equipment menu. I got to repair this cutter before anything else. So the cutter's repaired, and honestly, it's not a terrible idea to repair my thrusters, too. All right, let's continue. Off and in we go. So on this back end, I do want to get the thruster out. I see a misalignment right there with the hull, which means that that should be free. I think. It looks like, if nothing else, this little piece of paneling right here is shifting. Yeah, we got her loose, maybe? Come on. Work for me, baby. Come on. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this is going to open things up. If we can get this back area all nice and descaled, I'll feel better about our situation. So we're going to send that over there into the processor. Come on, baby. Come loose. Oh, hold up. Something going wrong here. Is that the entire back end? Oh my god, with the ribbing attached. Oh. Oh. Okay, I see what's happening here. Let me get the reactor out so that we can work a little more freely. And the reactor just goes into the barge. And so the reactor should be inert. Come on. There we go. Reactor's inert. Alright, so now we can figure out what... Okay, so these are two separate pieces right here. So this guy gotta go first. This guy's already slightly tilted towards this processor. So, oh, no, it's not actually. Oof, that's a mess. Okay, so this guy's gotta go first. There's no way around that. So you go over there. Hopefully there's not any heavy parts here that are not going to the processor. It looks like pretty much the whole thing is going to the processor. But yeah, these ring design ships are a pain like that. Like I said, these nested cylinders can cause all kinds of logistical problems for getting your stuff from point A to point B. I think they want you to make kind of like cuts along these lines right here and cut it in half. But like at the end of the day, I'm kind of a lazy bastard, so I tend to not do it. I don't even know if that's going to fit. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Okay, I saw the furnace tried to pull it in, dude. I was about to be like, no, Familia, don't do that to me. I can't handle that level of heartbreak. If that gets sucked into the furnace, that's pretty much GG's. That's a big honking piece of metal. I think 2 tethers get it over there faster. Yeah, that was a significant chunk of fuselage right there. All right, we'll take that guy in too. We hit salvage goal 1, which means we got some tokens for upgrading our gear. And look at that, our little office where we shot the window out. Didn't even have to do a whole lot with it. This guy right here. Are you free? I guess the best way to tell would be to try that. It is indeed free. I probably should have used 2 tethers because it's misaligning. But as long as it comes off smooth, I think we'll be okay. Like if it gets hooked up on that cabin right there, it's a problem, but hey, we're loose and free. So you can press the Y key to cancel any tethers that you actively have deployed. We need to work fast with this though because it's moving towards the furnace, and so we got to be kind of fast and accurate with this thing. I'm going to pull it a little bit wide to make sure that it clears, like so. Because once you get this big chunk of weight moving, this thing is not going to stop. It's going to be moving real good. Yeah, crushing hazard, I know. This entire job's a crushing hazard. I'm not worried about that. Okay, this guy right here, he should be free as well, unless there's a cut point over here that's directly attaching to him. That might be it right there. Yeah, there's probably one on top, too. Oh, that's for the pod clamps, actually. Oh, okay, so it's for the cargo. Gotcha. These are cargo pod clamps. So you basically attach cargo pods to these. Cargo pod's not worth that much. I'd like to see if this has any give to it. Let's try. Nope, that's definitely still affixed somewhere. Okay.
Oxygen reserves are low.
I know, my oxygen reserves are always low. Story of my life. Story of my life. Alright, well, let's pull back into the bay real quick. And when we're inside the bay, we'll go ahead and we'll refuel, grab some more tethers, grab some more fuel. There we go. And then we'll decide what we want to do with this back end over here. So my guess is I'm going to have to cut these clamps right here. That's what I'm thinking. They're bound for the furnace anyways. So let's take a second and let's just get all the cut points in here. Like, if you're ever stuck in this game and you're not exactly sure what to do next, my advice is always just start cutting things. If you've still got yellow on the ship, just be mellow. That's it. If there's still cut points, you're not lost yet. It just means that you haven't quite figured out what's going on. In addition, this game is in early access, so occasionally what you'll find is that, like, little things... So, like, I had a wall that wouldn't move. I had this wall, and, like, I couldn't figure out why it wouldn't move because there was no clamps left. It turns out that there was a piece of wiring that was slightly clipped on into the wall, and so it was counting as a fastener, even though it was not a fastener. And so, like, the entire wall was being held on by, like, this glitched coaxial cable, basically. And the second that I lasered it and melted it, bomb, it came right off. And so sometimes the game has weird little bugs and stuff like that, too, where it's not behaving the way it's supposed to. It's just like one model is clipping through another part of the model. And in that case, you're going to have to just, like, go through and cut it. Like, there's really no other option. Watch out for our gun heat here. Come on. Okay. I don't feel great about this rigging. Like, I think most of it is furnace bound. So if we can get it to come off in, like, modular Lego chunks, it'll probably be easier to handle. But I've got a feeling it's not going to be that simple. These new ships that they've added to the game are a little bit more puzzly than the other ones. Like, sometimes they just have, like, weird things going on based on their manufacturer's designation. Like, different companies build ships different ways. And so with these cargo haulers, you should just assume that everything's sort of nested and matryoshka'd in such a way that until you cut everything, nothing's going to come apart. Whereas the ships that are shaped more like a slice of bread or like a sandwich or something, they tend to be a little bit simpler with regards to how they work. Alright, so we should be able to get all these pod clamps off now and just send those down. I prefer not to damage any of them. They seem like they have some value. Like, they don't seem like innumerably valuable, but we are getting progress from them, so... You still on there, pal? You look like you're still on there. You're still on there. You still got a little butt plate. There we go. Take that butt plate off, and then we'll just... Arise, butt plate. Arise. Oof, almost threw me back into the furnace. Sneaky little clamp almost killed my ass. Ooh. That's off trajectory. That one was going to go into the depths of space, and then management was going to be very, very upset with me. They get pissy about stuff like this. Alright, so we'll throw that down on in there. And we're actually not doing too bad right now. I'd like to see if this has any play real fast, now that we've got all that detached. Do it. Let's find out. Nope. No play on that one. Okay, so there's definitely still something attached. It may, in fact... Oh, there it is right there. I missed one. There. Now are you free-floating? Actually, surprisingly not. Okay, I've missed something then. It's either that or on the bottom. I don't see anything, but what I'm thinking is that back plate right there is attached to this, and that back plate is attached to this too, and so that's why it's not coming off, which means that at some point we're going to have to laser cut this thing right here. We're going to have to kind of laser cut this to get it free, and then we'll slide this back, and then I think this should come loose. That's my thinking anyways. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards while I'm looking at the ship. If nothing else, we have a door right there. Is this outer ring free? It looks like it's mounted to that back plate still. That back plate appears to be the root of all of my problems. Yeah, I think that back plate's gonna have to go. Unfortunately, it's processor material. Yeah, my cutter's not good enough to get that right there. Sort of disappointing.
Warning. Oxygen reserves are low.
Come on. Hey, we got her. There we go. Okay, so that's like opened this thing on up. Looks like the chairs and things are all meant for the barge, which means I think if we get on the back end and we start clearing this thing out, we'll be in pretty good shape.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Come through my window, people sit on you. Come outside, wait by the light of the repair bay.
Oxygen reserves are critical.
Oh yeah, I should probably go get some oxygen.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
It's okay, I'm infused with sped. Slow our roll right here. There we go. I still got lots of tethers left, so I'm just going to buy the oxygen for right now. It's a very, very relaxing game, though. This is not a game with a lot of intensity, unless you're doing, like, the really dangerous ships. And so, anyways, it's kind of a fun game to fiddle around with, in all honesty. Like, I usually put on documentaries, or I put on, like, music, or I put on, like, this, that, or the other, and I just chillax and disassemble ships. And I think that's what the game does, like, really well, actually. So that's all furnace right there. That's furnace. Apparently they want these posters for the barge. All right. One of those small detail items that I doubt has any value, but, you know, whatever. We can throw it on the barge. Food pack. I saw a battery pack floating around somewhere. These atmospheric processors right here are worth a fortune. I think they're like 80,000 credits a piece, and so we definitely want to throw that on in there. Okay.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
I mean, this is largely looking okay to me. We've got like a couple computers and stuff back here. But other than that, I don't feel that nervous about this situation. Like, I think we did... I mean, we didn't get a whole lot done today. We got some stuff done, and like we're moving along, but we've run into a couple of very, very real problems with some of this back stuff that, like, I still am not... Yeah, it's got to be that guy right there. Like, I think this entire thing needs to come off. The downside is that that's supposed to go to the processor. So I'm thinking it's probably cheaper and more cost-effective for us to laser cut in from right here. Like so. That's sort of what I'm leaning towards. Is that, like, we cut that right there, and we do something similar around the bottom and the sides, and then we slide this entire hab module back. And I think if we can get this unaffixed, we'll be all right, and we can make some educated decisions about how we want to get this back part of the fuselage into the processor. That's just sort of what, like, I'm leaning on right now. That's kind of where I'm hedging my bets. But I don't think that there's going to be, like, a dedicated cut point that's going to make this problem go away. I think we're going to have to get creative with it. So anyways, this is Hardspace Shipbreakers. I hope you guys liked it. I really, really like this game. I've been enjoying the new update tremendously, enough so that it made me fall off my promise that I wasn't going to play the game till 1.0. Check it out. I got a link for you down below. My name is Splat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. I'll see y'all tomorrow with something else. Bye, everybody.